comes to mind when you think of sand? Like quicksand or building a house on sand? Something unstable that slips through your fingers? These are all the thoughts that I originally had about sand. Then I went back through 6 years of dream journals and discovered something that completely changed the way I understood sand in my dreams. I had this dream back in 2021 and it felt just like a movie. There was a demon and there was two groups of people and a supernatural woman that could build walls and shelters out of sand. For years, I thought the sand was just some symbol in the dream that I didn't have a grid for. But then I began having more and more sand dreams. And when I did a pattern recognition on the sand, something very interesting emerged. And now I think I understand what the sand has been pointing to all along. And once it clicked, it completely changed how I look at sand in my dreams moving forward. If you are new here, every Monday and Thursday, we look at real dreams together. More importantly, we look at how those patterns in your dreams emerge over time. Because one dream can be interesting, but dreams over years can completely change the trajectory of your life. Let's look at this new one. I had this dream on February 18th of 2021. This felt like a movie. I was with a group of young people, and one foolish guy does something that I can't remember. But when he does it, a demon comes up out of the water that looks just like him. This demon begins jumping in and out of the water over and over. The guy, by doing this act, has now connected himself to this demon and will feel the physical ramifications for everything the demon does. I address the demon, and the demon tells us the guy has to get a specific amount of money, possibly $3,000, but I can't remember for sure, and bring it to the demon 20 years before this day. I ask how that's possible, and he tells me we will learn how. Our group splits, and the guy connected to the demon is in the other group. My group goes on and meets another supernatural being, and her ability to build walls and shelters out of sand is what is needed to neutralize the demon. Our group brings her to the demon, and we pass the other group. That group is in a state of disorder. The female supernatural being gets down on the ground with the demon and very happily begins to use part of his power along with hers to begin to build the first wall of the shelter. The demon seems to be made docile by her. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite dreams. And let's just jump right in to the fact that this demon is telling us that the answer to our problems is to go back 20 years and bring back $3,000. A young man makes a foolish decision, which makes a destructive force attached to him. And then the demon gives an impossible instruction. Bring a specific amount of money 20 years before today. So naturally I ask, how is that even possible? And the answer is simply, you'll learn. For years, I honestly, I don't know. I kept this dream in the back of my head because it was like literally a movie plot that I would love to watch the movie of, but it sounded so unimaginable to my waking life that I didn't know what to do with it. Now, in my waking life and situations I'm walking out right now, I am mining out gold from this dream that is blowing my mind. And here's the first nugget of gold. Dreams allow us to go back to old dreams and discover information that is incredibly relevant to our life right now. Sometimes we're walking through something today, and the understanding that we need for that is hidden back in a dream we had years ago. Years later, you've gained wisdom, you've recognized patterns, you've developed a much richer dream language. Now you can go back and finally bring the money which is the understanding or the emotional capacity that your current season is asking of you. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how that fits the dream language now? This dream isn't asking me to go change something in the past. It's reminding me that old dreams are containing the information I need from my waking life now. Now let's look at the two groups of people highlighted in this dream. The groups separate. One ends up in disorder, and the other encounters something quite extraordinary. That contrast feels intentional. The difference isn't in strength or intelligence or in numbers. The difference is that the second group encounters someone that knows how to build. That immediately caught my attention, this cycle around. And something else occurred to me while studying this dream. Have you ever heard of the Sandman? It's in a lot. I love old music. I love like old 1940s music, and there's often this theme of love in those songs. And the Sandman, bring me a dream. Now, whether or not that applies to this, and I think it does, it's relevant to what I'm about to tell you. The supernatural woman builds walls and shelters out of sand. This is the moment that changed everything for me. For years, I simply understood that the sand was a symbol reflected in the dream, but I didn't know why. After 6 years of journaling and more sand-related dreams, I've now become aware that the sand in my dream language represents the dream realm. And not because I just want it to. Not because the dream dictionary said it or the awesome old song talks about Sandman, bring me a dream, but because the dreams themselves keep teaching me the same lesson. Once I saw that pattern, it changed the meaning of every dream in which sand shows up. She isn't building with ordinary sand. She's building through dreams. The dream realm itself becomes the material in which she is building protection. Then something really beautiful clicked. 1 grain of sand doesn't seem very significant. Neither does one dream. Neither does one symbol. By itself, it might seem really insignificant. But then comes another dream, another reoccurring person, another reoccurring place, another reoccurring number, or another reoccurring purpose. Eventually, all those individual grains become something you can build with. That's exactly what my dream journal has become. Not one incredible dream, but thousands of individual grains that are being weaved together for my wisdom. One thing that has become increasingly important to me is that I don't try to force specific meaning into symbols. I want the dreams themselves to teach me my own language. So when I develop a hypothesis, I test it. Earlier this year, I had another dream, a Noah-sized ark that was made completely out of sand. That dream was the icing on the cake. That dream has become the confirmation to what I believe sand is representing in my dreams. Because who builds an ark out of sand? Literally no one would build an ark out of sand. But symbolically, when I apply my own dream language now, it makes perfect sense. If sand represents the dream realm, then dreams become the very material in which preservation is built out of. This newer dream didn't replace the older dream. It finalized the meaning of the symbol. And that is why, again, I'm going to encourage everyone listening to keep a dream journal. Sometimes your dream later on in life is going to confirm what dreams from your past have been trying to teach you all along. Now let's look at the supernatural woman. She does not fight the demon. Recognize that. There is no battle scene in this dream. She doesn't destroy him. She uses part of his power to combine with her power to begin building the first wall. And then the demon becomes calm. If sand represents my dream realm, or let's say the dream realm, because I don't believe this only applies to me, then she's using a painful experience through dreams and through dream symbols to build protection. That resonates deep, deep inside my soul. Some of the hardest seasons I have walked through were not erased through years of engaging with my dreams. Those painful experiences have been repurposed into actionable wisdom. Those dreams become teaching. Those symbols become understanding. The pain isn't wasted. It's become part of the shelter. The supernatural woman builds the first wall, not the whole shelter, the first wall. That is a huge encouragement to me because oftentimes I want to see the whole picture. I want a complete understanding before I can begin. The dream, however, celebrates something much smaller. It tells me to start building one wall, one dream, one journal entry, one observation, one pattern at a time. Those small pieces become something remarkably strong. One of the things that makes my approach to dreams unique is that I don't stop with one interpretation. I treat my dream journal almost like a long-term research project. When a symbol repeats, I compare. When a person repeats, I compare. Numbers, locations, story arcs, emotional tones, and reoccurring principles. And then I allow later dreams to continue redefining what I originally understood about the dream. That is why my dream language never stops growing. Not because I have all the answers, but because I continue to allow my dreams to build my dream language. Every dream is valuable because each dream is another grain of sand. By itself, one grain of sand doesn't look like much, but faithfully gathered over time, those grains become something strong enough to build with. Wisdom, understanding, protection, and perspective. When I first had this dream, I only saw a demon and a woman building with sand. Years later, I now realize it is so much bigger. One dream can feel as insignificant as a grain of sand. But when you faithfully gather them over time, they eventually become something you can build your life on. That's why I will always write down my dreams. Not because I wake up and think how much sense that dream makes, but because today's single grain of sand may one day become part of the shelter that helps you walk through life's storms. And that is one of the greatest gifts that dreams are offering you. Not simply revealing life one dream at a time, but patiently building wisdom through years of faithfully paying attention. If you made it through to the end of this episode, thank you. The time you choose to spend with me really means a lot. And if you would like help with your own dreams, I have a free community for that. I also have one-on-one sessions you can sign up for. Just see the links below. And if not, just come on back and see me here because you know what? Your story really does matter. I'll see you next time.